Next up on the Cosmic News Network, First Contact with Joshua Pope.
Good morning, Earthlings. Good. How you doing today? Good. How you doing today? Welcome to First Contact Radio. Welcome to First Contact Radio. To talk about all these things I'm talking about is because in life, everything is energy. Every single thing that's out there.
Yo, it's First Contact with Joshua Pope. He's the man on the mic, just in case you didn't know it. Covering news from all around the globe, from the weather and space to UFOs. We'll talk politics and make you open your eyes. Conspiracy theories and government lies. We'll dig it all up and try to find the proof. Cause it's time to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We have arrived. First Contact Radio. We have arrived. First Contact Radio.
It's time to demand
First Contact Radio. We have arrived. First Contact Radio. Good morning, Earthlings. Welcome back to First Contact Radio. How you doing today? So today is Wednesday. It is the 17th of February. Right here. Our sun sign is in Aquarius. Tomorrow it changes at 11:34 p.m. So we've got the rest of today and the rest of tomorrow dealing with the astrological sign of Aquarius as far as our conscious mind goes. And then we're going to make that switch to Pisces. So Aquarius is an air sign, so we're dealing with an air sign today. But remember, as we go from one sign to the next, we start to feel the effect of what's going on. So whereas air represents expressions, words, actions, we're now starting to be more influenced by the feelings that come from the Pisces. So as we get closer and closer to that Pisces line and that crossover, we're starting to feel some of that effect. We're still in the air, but we're starting to feel some of that effect of where we're about to head into, okay? So air is our mind. So last chance for the mind, if the mind is going and trying to get all the rest of the thoughts together and gathered before you get into that feeling area. It's par for the course. Our moon sign is currently in Gemini, and it will be there only for a couple more hours. And then at 12:56 p.m. it goes void of course, which means it hits the last aspect of Gemini before it goes into the next sign of Cancer. And again, Gemini is an air sign, Cancer is a water sign. So tomorrow we're going to have Cancer all day long, and as we get here, so we're getting ready to go into a whole lot of water, okay? Whole lot of water. So we're still dealing with air, but that's going to come to an end. We're at 12:56 p.m. when we're going to go void, and then we're going to, in the afternoon, we're going to start jumping into those feelings, that unconscious feeling that's going to slowly prepare us for that conscious mind having those feelings as well. So today could be one of those days where we're thinking a lot about our feelings and things like that. The aspects that we're looking at, we have an aspect coming up in a couple hours, 10:37 a.m. The sun and the moon are going to be in a trine. So remember, a trine's a nice, good, positive energy that goes on. So the sun sign, Aquarius, the air sign, is trining the moon sign, also air, Gemini. So Gemini is communication. Aquarius is that mental energy and thoughts of the future. So I think this is a time of really looking forward where we want to go, expressing how we want to get there. Just really kind of, using our minds, really kind of brainstorming perhaps as we end out this phase here. And then at 10:38 a.m., 1 minute after that, well, we've got Mercury coming into the mix with Mars, Uranus here, unexpected changes. But then we make that transition to the unconscious mind of Cancer at 1:24. Feelings, 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 feelings. So that's what's going on here. One of the things just strikes out with the term cancer. We hear cancer and we hear cancer as a sickness. But if we relate the sign of Cancer to what we understand of cancer, it's basically a system where the emotions become so overwhelming and we don't process them properly that the emotions actually turn on us And that's really kind of what's going on. The body starts eating itself because of all of these feelings and the emotions. The water is just spreading everywhere. And so if we can process our emotions and deal with them, that certainly is one way that we're able to find our health in a place that we'd like to see it. Because the way that we think, the way that we feel, the things that we express all have a direct impact upon our health and what's going on. And so we can look to these ancient signs and these sciences to help us understand simple ways that we can look at life and understand a bit more about who we are, what's going on, how our body's doing. Okay, so that's what's going on there for today. Double air until 12:56 p.m. All right. We see our switch here. The sun's right here at the edge, and it's just about to go over into the next phase, into this last house. And this is the last house before we begin the cycle all over again. And we do it over and over and over as we've been doing for a long time. The moon is 74.3% of the way full, approaching that full moon on the 22nd, so we're a week away from that. Jewish calendar. Today is 8 Adar, 8 Adar. And the daily thought for today is flattening the ride. When times are rough, envision tomorrow, when all your efforts have paid off. When times are good, pray for your livelihood at every moment, as a beggar prays for his daily bread, for everything is in his hands. Okay. Mayan Oracle, 8-tone day, it's galactic tone of integrity, integrity being, staying in the groove, staying in the path, being in integrity with who and what we're about. Sun is the challenge or the kin for today. The seed flowering is our guide, flowering forth with those ideas that we have. The storm is our gathering of energy now. It is moved to the position of our ally for today, a like-minded energy, whereas loyalty, love, these things are a bit of a challenge today, whereas the hidden power, the dragon, birth, nurturing ourselves, that's our hidden strength there. So altogether today, the phrase is, I harmonize in order to enlighten modeling life. I seal the matrix of universal fire with the galactic tone of integrity. I'm guided by the power of flowering. Solar wind, 551.5 kilometers per second. Planetary K index is quiet as 3, but we do have a storm over the next 24 to 48 hours. This hole is really opened up in the bottom here, huh? Now we got another one over here. Definitely going to be feeling the effect from that. M-class flare possibilities up to 30%. S-class 1. Geomagnetic storm activity is subsiding at the moment. It's dropped from 40 to 30 in the mid-latitudes, upper latitudes. It's 55 down to 40 in some cases, but they also have an increase as well. So things are kind of topsy-turvy out there right now, energetic-wise. So geomagnetic storm is in progress. So we got hit by the flare. We've got all of this activity going on. So the energy around you feels agitated. It is. And up in the sky tonight, if we look to the moon, which is getting close to full, we look and see that the moon is at the bottom of the feet of Castor. Right here, Castor and Pollux, the twins. Procyon down further left here. Okay, and you can always tell them they're these two stars together. You tell Gemini, the twins. Okay, so that's what you're looking at when you see the sky tonight. And that's our cosmic weather. So we're wrapping up one astrological sign consciously. Unconsciously, we're doing the same thing, and we're going from an air sign into a water sign. So just think about how those elements operate, and just Imagine if it is a weather report and that you're going to move out accordingly with the energies at hand. Okay, that's our cosmic weather. If you wouldn't mind, I'd like to know what you think of this opening segment here with the cosmic weather. Does it make sense to you? Does it make sense to you with the astrology and with the esoteric science and with the Mayan oracle? Does that make sense to you? I just want to make sure that the information that I'm sharing makes sense and is usable. If some of it doesn't seem to be usable because you don't understand what the Mayan oracle is or the reason why there's a space weather this and that, let me know your thoughts. If you think there's something else that should be added to the mix that I'm not incorporating, let me know because I certainly always want to keep things fresh, find that I'm bringing forth and researching subjects that are things that we're all going to find useful to us. Because if it's not useful, what's the point? What is the point? All right, that's our cosmic weather. UFO news is next.
This is the UFO News with Joshua Poet.
All right, Dirk. Thank you very much. Today, 4 stories. First story here, UFO caught over city of Caracas of Venezuela, February 4th. So we have a series of pictures that were taken, or one picture, and then you could see here that it's putting through a number of filters. Filters allow us to see if the object is just a glitch on the screen or if there is something more to it. And as you can see, as it's putting through different filters, that there actually is something there. Okay, it's not a lens flare. It's not just a dot on the camera lens. It's actually some sort of object that has a shape, and the shape seems to be consistent from filter to filter. And these are all filters that you can use with any graphics program. Photoshop's a very popular one, but it's not the only one out there. It says these UFOs were recorded by UFO researcher on Twitter that goes by the name Herboculus45. If the above photo he caught a cool classic disc, in the lower photo he caught a dark triangle, a cone UFO. It looks like there is a new UFO researcher to keep an eye on. He has some fantastic catches. Okay. These are some good shots here. So there's the triangle. Again, we see through the variety of filters. There is something there. So it's not just a lens flare or a blip on the screen. It's actually something that does have a shape that remains consistent from filter to filter. Woman gets photo of UFO that cuts a hole in the cloud over Istanbul, Turkey. Now that's pretty good size hole in the cloud there, and that's quite fascinating. It's not the first time we've seen this. If we recall back to Chicago with the sighting there and the UFO flew up, there was the hole in the cloud. I believe that we've seen a number of instances where there's been these holes in the clouds in Russia from some UFO sightings there. Anyway, it says this UFO was recorded by a women's organization in Istanbul this week during a sky festival. When a local university professor of the city came to investigate, he deemed the women idiots by denouncing the existence of UFOs. Now it sounds like this was done more because they were women than anything else. Here is the photo. It does look like the UFO is cloaked in the cloud, and its propulsion made a ring around that allows light to penetrate. There's an old 90-page MUFON report about the O'Hare UFO reported that eyewitnesses saw the UFO shoot diagonally through the clouds as it left, cutting holes. Okay, so I don't know what the point, what the difference is, whether they were women or not who take these pictures, because it doesn't make a difference. Apparently it did to somebody, but picture's a picture. Natalia, who was the witness to a very interesting event that was mysterious and in the sky this morning, a UFO-like object was in the air. She had a rather tense moment of calmness as Natalia watched with her camera. The object appeared in the sky. She suspected that it was a UFO. Here's the details. Those who saw the photos made different interpretations. Interesting clouds, mostly unidentified object in the sky, UFOs, Benzel, Turk. The most interesting was following comment. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un's atomic bomb test. how the UFO cloud came to exist, some mysterious ring, or UFO watching innocent villagers were made into comments. Unmanned aerial vehicle, otherwise known as a UAV, left the trail and almost stated. Interestingly, many other cities locally recorded the UFO from different viewpoints. City Council Women's Assembly organized by the Cultural Center, Ice Spiritophon, Sky Festival, spoke to University Facility of Science Head of Department of Physics, Professor Dr. Dursan Koser. Okay. Very good. Very good. All right. So, again, this is just a classic case of somebody sees something and then somebody else is trying to convince somebody they didn't see what they saw. And in this case, there's a picture to confirm that what they saw was there. So the person claiming they didn't see what they said they saw really needs to learn how to look at pictures, because then he will see what was seen by the person who saw this. How's that for a tongue twister? Okay, fast UFO caught on tape over Mount Adams, Washington, 13th of February. Here we have a 1-minute video. My friend caught this real footage of a UFO on Mount Adams over the weekend. There it is right there. I moved pretty quick through wherever it was going. Looks like there's some other things out here as well, definitely orb-like. Very interesting. That one was fascinating, but certainly these up here definitely are equally as fascinating. They almost look like a triangle that's connected together. But there's that fourth one there, so check out the video, see what you think. See what you think on that. Very interesting. And one last story here for UFOs today. Irishman claims he met extraterrestrials and they predicted the end of the world. Retired carpenter Gary Battle, 61, from Palenqueny, Colorado, Limerick, claims he was walking home after 2 Christmas drinks when aliens struck. An Irishman, he told the terrifying tale of his abduction by aliens and how they predicted the end of the world. Retired carpenter Gary Battles claims he was walking home after 2 Christmas drinks with a pal when a real-life ET struck. During the experience, he said he was paralyzed, came face to face with a cone-headed extraterrestrial, and traveled to the North Pole in a blink of an eye. He also recalled being warned of the Earth's impending doom during the encounter on December 26, 2001, as he walked home from the Seven Sisters pub in Kidimo. He said, I was only minutes away from my house. It was a clear, dry night. You could have read a book off the light of the night sky, but I wasn't drawn by the light of the stars or the moon, but by a bright, surgical white light coming from the other end of the boreen. After being drawn by the white light, Gary remembers finding himself aboard a spacecraft with about 40 others, all in a subdued state, standing motionless, like statues. He told the Limerick Post they were all male of different age groups, all standing shoulder to shoulder like mannequins. I remember one man next to me wearing a Columbo-style coat and a hat. We were all in a state of paralysis. I could only move my eyes, so I couldn't see much. The next thing I remember, floating into another bigger chamber with a 360-degree viewing deck, it was then I saw the extraterrestrial. I couldn't tell how big he was or even if he had arms or legs. All I remember is his big cone head and his beautiful, ginormous eyes. They were jet black, almost like mirrors. He spoke to me through telepathy and said, "You're not terrified like the others." "No, I am not. Should I be?" Jerry asked. The alien then quizzed the Limerick grandfather about what he would like to see. The North Pole came his instant reply. In a blink of an eye, they were transported to the North Pole, which Jerry says was like driving through a snowstorm at 5,000 miles an hour. He admits that anyone he has revealed this fantastical story to thinks he is mad and laughs when asked if he has any history of mental illness. "No, not at all," he replies. He said that those who don't believe his tale are naive and have small imaginations. Before revealing, the alien warned him that mankind will go the same way as the dinosaurs when a giant asteroid smashes into the Earth. Gary said the alien told him mankind had come a long way, but its time is running out. In 850 years from now, a giant asteroid the size of Munster is going to obliterate your planet. The asteroid will approach the planet from the 35th quadrant, the alien said. We are 4 million light years more advanced than you are. We have been observing you for millennia. In all that time, you have only excelled at two things: global warfare and lying to your own species. You must use the Force, be one with the Force, harness the Force, the alien said. Jerry said the alien also warned us not to trust the governments or the banks, that they've been lying to us since day one. He has no recollection of how long the abduction lasted, or no memory of it afterwards, until the coat he was wearing that night turned on the roof of the regional hospital. He said, I have no idea how I got there. It was only after having the coat returned back to me that the events of December 26, 2001 started to come back. Jerry is hopeful the story will reach the world's scientific community, and said the truth is definitely out there. All right, so according to him, we got some time, 850 years. Well, it's now 15 years later, so 835 years from now. So I think we've got some time. We're going to be all right. Got some time, but maybe if we come back in another lifetime, that will be going on. Hopefully we'll be able to find some remedy and maybe get past all the lying and the hateful ways down here. That might be a nice thing if we could get there. We'll see what happens. Anyway, that's it. I'm going to jump away to a song. Let's do Great Spirit today. I'll be back.
Come into our circle, Great Spirit. Fill our souls with peace.
one of my favorite songs that I've ever done. I remembered it like it was yesterday. We recorded it. Just a little recording trick there. You hear the wind in the song. That wind wasn't anything electronic. It was just simply me going. That was it. That was it. Making it simple. Making it simple. All right, I just thought I'd let you know about an upcoming event if you're in the Los Angeles area. This weekend is the 14th Annual Conscious Life Expo. You can see there's a lot of speakers there that some of which you may have seen on the various programs. David Wilcox, Stephen Greer, James Redfield, The Celestine Prophecy, George Norrie, and the Molten How, Ancient Aliens, William Henry, Oliver Stone's son, Sean, Mike Barr. So there's a nice collection of people speaking. Jordan Maxwell, Jason Martell from Ancient Aliens. So there's a nice, good group of people here, and you've heard them talk. You've heard them on all of these various shows, and now if you're around, you get an opportunity to see them in person, listen to them. So I've got the link up at the website. It's consciouslifeexpo.com. That way you can go check it out. It's last all weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. All right? All right. Moving on. So we're going to continue on today with the Nag Hammadi and the second treaty of Seth. I thought I'd backtrack a little bit just so we kind of catch up where we were. But just to reiterate, let me go over and bring the graphic up here again. Here we have the immortal realms, okay? So we have the world of the immortals, and then we have the realm of the mortals. And in the immortal realm here, the mother, the father, spark was created, the divine autogens Christ, who gave birth to four lights, four angels right here, and these four lights then went on and created multiple realms, 3 realms each. The various beings, Adam, his son Seth, his children, were all put in charge of the first 3 realms. And everything was going smooth and easy until in one of these realms, Sophia, means wisdom, had some sort of a mishap and came forth Yaldabaoth, and ashamed and uncertain about what had come forth, this creature with the face of a lion and the body of a serpent, she cast him aside and placed a veil between him and the immortal realms. So he didn't know anything about where he came from other than the mother. And so as he went on into the world, he was completely ignorant. And he went on and he created physical reality. He created humankind, all in an effort to trap God, not in an effort to move the process forward, but to trap God, and was unsuccessful in doing so, as we all could understand why. But in the process of doing so, the only way that the body that was created by Yaldabaoth, who we know from the Old Testament is Yahweh or Jehovah, the only way was when the Spirit of God actually went and animated the being, then Adam came to life. But there was a problem that Yaldabaoth didn't like, that with this spirit that entered it, it now had this connection to its source, and Yaldabaoth didn't really care for that too much, because Yaldabaoth didn't have that same connection. He was ignorant of it. And when Yaldabaoth did find out that he wasn't the be-all, end-all God, that's when he really became jealous and enraged, and that's when Adam came into reality, because he needed to bring him down, bring God down, and try to trap that. So the same creatures, or same beings, excuse me, that are in the immortal realms, we have Adam, we have his son Seth. These same reflections in these immortal realms are also reflections down on the lower realms as well. So in the mortal realms, we had Adam. We know the story of the Garden of Eden of Adam and Eve. Well, one of their sons was Seth. They had a couple other sons, Cain and Abel. There was a issue that occurred where at one point Eve was raped, and Cain and Abel came forth as the product of that. And then later she had the good son, Seth, who is a representation of that higher aspect of Seth from the higher realms. And of course, all of these beings, Seth, Adam, Yeshua, all of them expressing the energies of the Christ, fully aware of their connection to this Christ energy because it was passed down, the wisdom was passed down to them to understand this connection here. Okay? And as I've said, and understand from this, because all energy emanates, flows forth from the Mother, the Father, through the Christ, all creations have this energy within them. And the only thing that would keep us from that would be if there was somehow or some way the wisdom kept in how to connect to that energy. And we certainly know that's the case. Okay? Brief summary. So I'm going to backtrack a little bit on this story, just one section prior to where we left off, just to catch up. And we're talking about Yeshua, the Christ, coming down through Seth. It says, and I subjected all of their powers, for as I came downward no one saw me, for I was altering my shapes, changing from form to form. And so when I was at their gates, I assumed their likeness. Okay, so in other words, assuming their likeness, he took on the human form. Because you see, you got the human creation that was created by Yaldabaoth and all of his archons. That is the form that he's talking about. That is their likeness. But the spirit that went in, there wasn't the same likeness as Yaldabaoth. He didn't understand about that spirit. So what they understood was this being. They didn't understand the spiritual being that had these multi-forms. They understood the being that they created. And so they did what they want with that being. And from time to time throughout the Nag Hammadi library, through the codices and the text, there are stories of the beings on earth, the creatures, who were filled with the spirit, and then something bad was going on because the archons were mistreating them, and then the spirit just simply left. And it was left, the creature was left, was the one that was abused, while the spirit was not there at the present time and was not being abused and was simply watching, knowing that Yaldabaoth and his archons were simply abusing their own creations. Okay, somewhat of a way of, not being subjected to that material realms. Okay, so when you see that, that's what's going on here. There's the likeness of the material, the creature, and there's the likeness of the immortal, the spiritual. So for I passed them quietly, and I was viewing the places, and I was neither afraid nor ashamed, for I was undefiled. Okay, and we're talking to spirit, undefiled. And I was speaking with them, mingling with them through those who are mine, and trampling on those who are harsh to them with zeal, and quenching the flame. And I was doing all these things because of my desire to accomplish what I desired by the will of the Father above. And the Son of the Majesty, who is hidden in the region below, we brought to the height where I am with all the aeons, which no one has seen or known, where the wedding of the wedding robe is, the new one and not the old, which does not perish. For it is a new and perfect bridal chamber of the heavens, and I have revealed that there are 3 ways, which are undefiled mystery in a spirit of this aeon, which does not perish, nor is it fragmentary, nor able to be spoken of. Rather, it is undivided, universal, and permanent. For the soul, the one from the height, will not speak about the error that is here, nor transfer it from those eons, since it will be transferred when it becomes free and endowed with nobility in the world, standing before the Father without weariness and fear, always mixed with the mind of power and form. They will see me from every side without hatred, for since they see me, they are being seen and are mixed with them. Since they did not put me to shame, they were not put to shame. Since they were not afraid before me, they will pass by every gate without fear, and will be perfected in the 3rd glory. It was my cross that the world did not accept, my apparent exaltation, my 3rd baptism, and a revealed image. And when they had fled from the fire of the 7 authorities, and the sun of the powers of the rulers set, darkness overtook them, and the world became poor. And after they bound him with many restraints, they nailed him to the cross. They fastened him with 4 nails of brass. The veil of his temple he tore with his hands. There was a trembling that overcame the chaos of the earth, for the souls that were in sleep below were released. And having aroused, they walked about boldly, having shed jealousy of ignorance and unlearnedness beside the dead tombs, having put on the new human, having come to know that the perfect, blessed one of the eternal and incomprehensible Father in the infinite light, which is I. Okay, so the new human, this is the immortal man, the immortal human that understands his connection to the immortality as opposed to the human, the creature. It says, when I came to my own and united with them, with myself, there was no need for many words, for our thought was with their thought. Therefore they knew what I was saying, for we took counsel about the destruction of the rulers, and therefore I did the will of the Father, who is I. After we had left from our home and came down to this world and came into being in the world in bodies, we were hated and persecuted not only by those who are ignorant, but by those who think that they are advancing the name of Christ, since they are unknowingly empty, not knowing who they are, like dumb animals. They persecuted those who have been liberated by me, since they hate them, those who, should they shut their mouth, would weep with a profitless groaning because they did not fully know me. Instead, they serve 2 masters, even a multitude. But you will become victorious in everything, in war and battles, jealous division and wrath, in uprightness of love. We are innocent, pure, and good, since we have the mind of the Father in an ineffable mystery. Okay? So you understand what's going on there so far? So we've got a condition where you've got the creature. See, the human being that was made by Yaldabaoth is the creature. We are that creature. We're the beast. When the book of Revelation talks about the beast, the number the 666, we are the beast, that human creation. But that beast needs the spirit, and that is what Yaldabaoth didn't know how to provide. God put that spirit into the creature, and therefore the creature had an opportunity to rise, and that is what Yeshua came to show us, that this creature, even though it was made by Yaldabaoth, even though it was intended to be a prison and was created out of a state or from a state of ignorance, had the ability to rise above all of that and be something that Yaldabaoth didn't even understand could be. And that is what's available to all of us. The hopefulness of rising above our situation, rising above this mortality to understand the immortality of who and what we're about. Okay, so we continue on. For it was ludicrous. It is I who bear witness that it was ludicrous, since the rulers do not know that this is an ineffable union of undefiled truth, as exists among the children of light, of which they made an imitation, having proclaimed a doctrine of a dead man and lies, so as to resemble the freedom and purity of the perfect assembly, and having joined themselves in their doctrine to fear and slavery, worldly cares, and abandoned worship, being small and ignorant, since they do not contain the nobility of truth. For they hate the one in whom they are, and they love the one in whom they are not. For they did not know the knowledge of the greatness that is from above, and from a fountain of truth, and not from slavery and jealousy, fear, and love of worldly matters. For that which is not theirs and that which is theirs they use fearlessly and freely. They do not desire because they have authority, and they have a law from themselves over whatever they will wish. But those who have not are poor, that is, those who possess nothing, and yet they desire something. And they lead astray those who, through them, have become like those who possess the truth of their freedom, so as to bring us under the yoke of constraint, of care and fear. This person is in slavery, and one who is brought by constraint of force and threat has been guarded by God. But the entire nobility of fatherhood is not guarded, since he guards what is his own by himself without word and constraint. He is united with his will, he who belongs only to the thought of the fatherhood, to make it perfect and ineffable through the living water, to be with you not mutually in wisdom, not only in word of hearing, but in deed and fulfilled word. For the perfect ones are worthy to be established in this way, and to be united with me in order that they may not share in any enmity in a good friendship. I accomplish everything through the good ones, for this is the union of the truth, that they should have no adversary, but everyone who brings division, and such a one will learn no wisdom at all, because he brings division and is not a friend, is hostile to them all. But one who lives in harmony and friendship of brotherly love, naturally and not artificially, completely and not partially, this person is truly the desire of the Father. This is the universal one and perfect love. For Adam was a laughingstock, since he was made by a counterfeit type of man, by the realm of seven. Okay, well, realm of seven, we're talking about the archons. Yaldabaoth created the seven archons. They rule over the seven planets in addition to their other functions. As if he had become stronger than my brothers and me. We are innocent with respect to him, since we have not sinned. And Abraham and Isaac and Jacob were a laughingstock, since they, the counterfeit fathers, were given a name by the realm of seven, as if he had become stronger than my brothers and me. We are innocent with respect to him, since we have not sinned. David was a laughingstock in that his son was named the human son, having been influenced by the realm of seven, as if he had become stronger than the fellow members of my race and me. But we are innocent with respect to him, and we have not sinned. Solomon was a laughingstock, since he thought that he was Christ, having become vain through the realm of seven, as if he had become stronger than my brothers and me. But we are innocent with respect to him. I have not sinned. The 12 prophets were laughingstocks, since they have come forth as imitations of the true prophets. They came into being as counterfeits through the realm of seven, as if they had become stronger than my brothers and me. But we are innocent with respect to that, since we have not sinned. Moses, a faithful servant, was a laughingstock, having been named the friend, since he was perversely bore witness concerning him who never knew me. Neither he nor those before him, from Adam to Moses and John the Baptizer, none of them knew me or my brothers. For they had a doctrine of angels to observe dietary laws and bitter slavery, since they never knew truth, nor will they know it. For there was a great deception upon their soul, making it impossible for them to ever find a mind of freedom, in order to know him, until they come to know the human Son. Now concerning my Father, I am he whom the world did not know. And because of this, the world rose up against my brothers and me. But we are innocent with respect to it. We have not sinned. For the ruler was a laughingstock, because he said, I am God, and there is none greater than I. I alone am the Father, the Lord, and there is no other God but me. I am a jealous God, who brings the sins of the fathers upon the children for 3 and 4 generations, as if he had become stronger than my brothers and me. But we are innocent with respect to him, in that we have not sinned, since we mastered his teaching. Thus he is an empty glory, and does not agree with our Father. And so through our fellowship we overcame his teaching, since he was vain and an empty glory. And he does not agree with our Father, for he was a laughingstock with judgment and false prophecy. O you who do not see your blindness, that this is who was not known. They have never known him, nor have they known about him. They did not listen to a reliable report. Therefore they proceeded in a judgment of error, and they raised their defiled and murderous hands against him, as if they were beating the air. And the senseless and the blind ones are always senseless, always being slaves of law and earthly fear. I am Christ, the human Son, the one from you who is in you. I am despised for your sake, in order that you yourselves may forget what is subject to change, and do not become female, lest you give birth to evil and its brothers, jealousy and division, anger and wrath, fear and a divided heart, and an empty, non-existent desire. But I am an ineffable mystery for you. Then before the foundation of the world, when the whole multitude of the assembly came together upon the places of the realm of 8, when they had taken counsel, they married spiritually, which is in union. And thus he is perfected in the ineffable places by a living word. And the undefiled wedding was consummated through the mediation of Jesus, who inhabits them all and possesses them, who abides in an undivided power of love. In turning, he appears to himself as the one of all of these, a thought and a father, since he is one, and he stands over against them all, since he as a whole came forth alone. And he is life, since he came from the Father of ineffable and perfect truth, the Father of those who are there, the union of peace and a friend of good things, and life eternal and undefiled joy, in great harmony of life and faith, through eternal life of fatherhood and motherhood and sisterhood and rational wisdom. They had agreed with the mind, who stretches out and will stretch out in joyful union and is trustworthy and faithfully listens. And this is the fatherhood and the motherhood and the rational brotherhood and wisdom. And this is the wedding of truth, and a repose of incorruption and spirit of truth in every mind, and a perfect light in an unnameable mystery. But this is not, nor will it happen among us, in any region or place, in division and breach of peace, but it is in union and a banquet of love, all being perfected in the one who is. It also happened in the places under heaven for the reconciliation, those who knew me in salvation and undividedness, and those who existed for the glory of the Father and the truth, having been separated, blended into the one through the living word. And I am in the spirit and the truth of the motherhood, since unity was there, just as I was among those who are united in the friendship of friends forever. They know neither hostility at all nor evil, but are united in my knowledge and word and peace, which exist in perfection with everyone and in them all. And those who assume the form of my type will assume the form of any word. Indeed, these will come forth in light forever and in friendship with each other in the spirit, since they have known every respect and indivisibility, that the whole one who is one. And all of these are one, and thus they will learn about the one as well as the assembly and those dwelling in it. For the Father of all these exists, being immeasurable and immutable, mind and word and division, and envy and fire, and he is entirely one, being all with them, all in a single doctrine, because of these are from a single spirit. O seeing ones, why did you not know the mystery rightly? But the rulers around Yaldabaoth were disobedient because of the thought who went down to him from her sister Sophia. They made for themselves a union with those who were with them in a mixture of fiery cloud, which was their envy, and the rest who were brought forth by the creatures as if they bruised the noble pleasure of the assembly. And therefore they revealed the mixture of ignorance in the counterfeit image of fire and earth, and a murderer, since they are small and untaught, without knowledge, having dared these things, but not having understood the light has fellowship with light, and darkness with darkness, and the incorruptible with the perishable, and the imperishable with the incorruptible. Now these things I have presented to you, I, Jesus Christ, the human Son, who is exalted above the heavens. O perfect and incorruptible ones, because of the incorruptible and perfect and ineffable mystery. But they think that we decreed them before the foundation of the world, in order that we emerge from the places of the world, we may be present there, the symbols of incorruption from the spiritual union with knowledge. You do not know this because the fleshy cloud overshadows you. But I alone am the friend of Sophia. I have been in the bosom of the Father from the beginning, in the place of the children of truth, and in the greatness. Rest then with me, my fellow spirits, and my brothers and sisters forever. Second Treaty of Great Seth. Okay, so it seems to reiterate the same point over and over, doesn't it? You know, these bodies, these that we have, these are the beasts. These are the creatures that were created by an ignorant being. But the beauty of everything is that there's a spirit that's in us that is incorruptible, undefined, defileable. And this spirit is there. But if we don't connect with it, it's like we're walking through life blindly. So if we look at the problems that are in the world these days, with all the various hate groups that are going on, and the wars that are taking place, and the problems, when we look at the problem makers, we see this exact same thing going on. They are those who are moving around in bodies, but they're not connected to spirit. For if they were truly connected with spirit, they would not be doing the things that they are doing. They would be rising above this, understanding the immortality of all things. So that's the big difference. We're talking about a difference between the world of the immortals and the world of the mortals. And the difference and the way to bridge that gap is understand the immortality that is within each one of us, this immortal spirit. And once we do, that's when things change. So, as we read through all of these texts, it's a continual talk about these two challenges, and that the ones who are berated are the beasts, the creatures. Those are the ones that the archons have control over. But the archons don't have control over the immortals. And we all have within us the spirit of the immortals. And all we have to do is understand that and allow that to emanate from us. Emanate means to flow forth. That energy flows forth from the Father, from the Mother, through the Christ, from the Christ, through the four lights, through the multiple realms. Everything is an emanation of flowing forth. So this spirit, this life, doesn't stop emanating or flowing forth when it gets to us. It continues to flow forth. We can either block that energy or allow it to flow. One of the terms that we use for blocking things is the word dam, to dam things up. Well, when we build dams or when we dam others, we're blocking a flow of energy. We're blocking the emanation from moving forth. So we need to remove the dams. We need to remove anything that is blocking that energy. And once we do, we find our true power. Our true power. Okay. So that's the second treaty of Seth. I'll pick something out so we can get on for the next couple of days. And here is our message for today, our channeled message. Comes to us from the angels. Here we go.
The Angels.
February 12th, 2016, by Ann Albers.
The Angels.
My dear friends, we love you so very much. There will always be challenges in your life. There will always be interruptions to your plans. There will always be the mundane details of life that seem to distract you from your goals and dreams. You, however, are given power and authority over your time, your spirit, and therefore the energy that you put out to the universe. Will you be a transmitter of peace or chaos? Disbelief or faith? Victimization or radiant power? It is up to you. When life seems to get in the way of the life you want to live, stop. Ask yourself, is it absolutely necessary that I handle this interruption, this challenge, this distraction right here and right now? Many of you would automatically say, yes. I must. Ask yourself once again. Must I really handle this now? Or is my heart telling me there is something more important in the moment? Your culture has become very fast-paced and interrupt-driven. Urgency is built into the culture. Nonetheless, we in the heavens know that you have eternity to experience everything your heart and soul might desire. There is no such thing as urgency in the heavens. There is only one blessed and holy now and now again. Say you wake up and want to work on a project near and dear to your heart. You want to play with your children, read a book, create something, work on a business, get your home organized, file your recipes, or whatever it is that you wish to get done. Suddenly the phone rings. You rush to answer it, you find out someone is in need. Now you think you must drop all your plans and rush to the rescue. Or suppose you are in the middle of your project and you discover something is broken and needs to be fixed. Or you suddenly remember you promised to do something else at this very moment. What do you do in each of these cases? Well, dear ones, you have a choice. If the phone rings, you can pick it up, or not. If you know someone is dying, you might want to pick it up. However, in most cases you can simply take a moment and ask,
Do I feel like answering now, or do I feel like proceeding with my project?
Maybe you will miss the call as you check into your own heart. Trust that. You will have time to check in with your heart's guidance, and you can always call back. Trust your heart. Trust it knows what is best for all souls involved. Say that something breaks. Do you need it repaired right now in order to continue on with your life? If not, ask your heart to tell you when to get it handled. Say that you remember you had promised to do something for someone else. You forgot, perhaps God had other plans. Can you call, apologize, and reschedule, or do you feel like redirecting your day? These are simple examples, but your life is built upon these small choices. These small choices add up to a larger experience of life. Drop into your hearts, dear ones. If there is something you want to accomplish, trust that you may be guided to ignore interruptions unless those very interruptions can help you get in the right energy or receive the right help to achieve your intended goals. Ultimately, there is only one goal: to love your life. The heart will always guide you to love. Trust it. And from now on, consider interruptions to be chances to listen to your own heart and make choices in alignment with your soul. God bless you. We love you so very much. The angels.
All right, very nice. So, again, kind of gets to the point of what the non-commodity is talking about. You know, we have the opportunity to look at our lives and decide which direction we're going to go. Life has lots of distractions, and it has distractions from wanting to keep us on point, more specifically to keep us from connecting with that immortal part of ourselves, that divine aspect. But we have the opportunity to rise by simply looking at these distractions as challenges, challenges to make us better. Everyone in the human body falls down, everyone. Nobody is immune for that. But getting back up, we often find ourselves stronger than before, wiser than before. Because in the getting up, we realize that mistakes happen, but the universe is not out to condemn us. The universe is out to help us. It wants us to grow, that wants us to be better. The universe understands that mistakes are made, and that when we redeem ourselves from these mistakes, we have an opportunity to be better. And that's awesome when those who have challenges rise above their challenges. We cheer for that down here on Earth. We cheer for those who are able to rise above their conditions. We'd like to see everyone be able to do that. The only problem we have is we still have these influences that distract us or take us away or intentionally try to turn us away from such things. And we know who they are. They're the ones who are out there causing hatred and anger and violence in the world. And so we just need to just stay on point, you know. And these angels, the beings, the spiritual beings that are out there, there's a lot of wonderful wisdom. We need to listen to it. We need to listen to it and not be afraid, because there's nothing to be afraid of. All there is hopefulness and positivity for who we are and where we're going. And if we just trust that, all will be well. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath and exhale. Take another deep breath and exhale again. I just want you to imagine that you step outside of your body and you look back at yourself. And as you look at yourself, you realize that the part of yourself that is doing the looking is still aware, is able to look at the physical and realize that we still exist. You still exist. And we understand that there's a difference between the physical body and the spiritual. And that these two energies brought together can work together in unity and harmony. And we understand that the secret of all things is connecting with spirit, connecting with the spiritual realms, for that is the source of our power. So let's imagine somewhere out in the cosmos, in the unseen realms, let's just imagine a flow of water. This pure, clear, undefiled, incorruptible water, alive with consciousness and unconsciousness. And let's just imagine this water flowing, filling the immortal realms, flowing into each and every being that exists there. And let's imagine this water just pouring from these immortal realms like a waterfall upon the earth, and flowing into each and every individual. And as this water flows forth, we see that some beings allow this water to flow through them, and some block this energy, or are victims of those who are attempting to try to block this. Whatever the case may be, we understand the difference. So let's just imagine moving through the world and seeing those who are blocked and helping to remove that dam that was built. And let's just imagine removing the logs or the bricks or whatever is in the way. And as that water flows and continues to emanate, the being feels a tremendous power and spirit. And one by one we see this water flowing smoothly, flowing without any distractions, flowing without any interruptions. And as this water flows, our spirits grow. And we understand that all of life is fed by this water, this flowing forth, this emanation. And that each and every one of us, each and every being on this earth, are filled with the Spirit. And each and every being upon this earth has an opportunity to connect with this Spirit. So let's just imagine one by one, people across the earth connecting with their spirit. And as people connect with their spirit, we find that the problems dissipate, the wars cease, the violence stops, the hatred ends, and we realize that we are all here, brothers and sisters in Christ, brothers and sisters of the Father and the Mother. So let's just imagine now our subconscious continuing on this journey, moving with the flow of water that emanates through all of life. And let's bring the conscious mind back to the present moment on the count of 3. 3, coming back to the present moment, filled with confidence. 2, coming back to the present moment, filled with faith. And 1, coming back to the present moment, happy, healthy, and whole. Happy, healthy, and whole. Take another deep breath. Hold it. And exhale. Just let the energy flow. Now, go ahead and open your eyes. That's it, my friends. That is it for today. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll continue on with another one of the texts from the Non-Commodity Library. If you have any suggestions on anything you'd like me to go over or research or bring into the show, let me know. Let me know. I'd like to be able to be interactive with what it is that you are interested in, so that we can all kind of be sharing this together. All right, that's it for today. I'll be back tomorrow. Have an awesome day. I love you. Keep loving each other. Peace. I'm out of here.